Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 5 on WKYT This Morning, fire crews are working to put out a fire at a home here in Lexington. They are there right now, and so are we. Coming up, a reporter live from the scene with the latest information.
After an incident at an air traffic control facility on Friday, after it grounded flights across the country, the FAA has announced when the control center will be up and running again.
And we have the latest info on a shots fired incident on the University of Kentucky campus. We'll have those stories and more, and breaking news as it happens. It's coming up on WKYT This Morning. Good morning to you and welcome. It's so good to have you along, and we hope you had a great weekend. Ready to go with this new week. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Really pretty boring in the weather department.
You think?
Which is a good thing, right?
It's nice, you know, sunshine. It's beautiful weekend, as we said, for the most part. It looks like we start out the same. Here's meteorologist Micah Harris. Good morning.
Rebecca, you nailed it. Most people don't like to say it, but yeah, boring is good in the weather, okay? Because there's just not much going on. The weekend actually turned out to be a very nice weekend. We had a couple of showers here and there down toward the southeast, but other than that, it was really nice for all those festivals going on, and I hope those were just as fun for you guys as it was for all of us. Live sky camera, there's your shot. Current temperatures holding on to the 60s. A couple of 50s sprinkled in here and there where you're not having that cloud cover. It's not cool outside. It's pretty mild. It actually feels quite nice. And by the afternoon, around 80 degrees, only slight chance to rain, and most of that's going to be down toward the southeast. Going in toward late week, that's when those big changes come blasting through, and I'll show you this cold air in our forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Micah, thank you. We'll see you in just a little bit.
Lexington fire crews are working to put out a fire that started just after 3 o'clock this morning.
Fire started on a two-story building on Vale Drive, just off Harrodsburg Road. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel is live from the scene now of that fire. Whitney, what happened? What's going on right now? Good morning.
Good morning. Well, as you can see, this scene is still very much active at this point, but firefighters do appear to have the fire under control. It all started just before 3 o'clock this morning at this home on Vale Drive. As you can tell from this video, firefighters say there is a lot of damage to the home. The fire spread to the garage and attic. They even had to bring in extra crews for more manpower because many of the firefighters were getting fatigued. Now, we do not know how many people were actually inside the home when the fire first broke out, but firefighters tell us the people who live inside are the ones who called 911 and reported this fire. They do believe there were some children living inside of this home, but everyone was able to get out safely. At this point, no injuries have been reported. Right now, crews are still checking for hot spots. Firefighters tell me they will likely be here well into the daylight hours. Investigators are also here on scene trying to determine where this fire first started. Of course, we'll keep you updated throughout the morning. And I'll have another live report from the scene coming up at 5:30. For now, we're live in Lexington. Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
New this morning, firefighters are investigating another fire after it consumed part of a shed in Lexington. They say they're investigating the fire as suspicious. Happened about 10:30 last night at 245 East Loudon Avenue. Firefighters say the shed wasn't filled with anything valuable, mostly trash. They say the fire burned a hole through the back of that shed.
There were some scary moments on the University of Kentucky campus late last night as police combed the area looking for a group of men who fired shots near a dormitory.
Police did not find the shooters, but they cleared the area minutes after midnight. WKYT's Mark Barber is live with the latest from where the shots were reported to have been fired. Mark.
Good morning, Bill and Rebecca. The search for that shooter started here at the Kerwin and Blanding dorm complex after students reported hearing up to 3 gunshots. Now, students on UK South campus were asked to stay in their dorm rooms while police and canines searched for the armed man. Witnesses told police they heard gunfire coming from a group of 4 to 8 men wearing all black around 10 o'clock last night. We're told after the shots were fired, the group split up and took off in 2 different directions. Police searched a nearby construction site for about 2 hours before giving students the all clear.
Right now we have our technology services team that are actively looking through all kinds of camera footage throughout campus right now to see what they can piece together to assist us in this investigation.
Investigators are now asking anyone with information to come forward. Now, police say the good news this morning is that no one was hurt. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. And 4 shootings in 48 hours. It's a wave of violence in Lexington that has left many in the city on edge. The shooting started Friday night around 8 p.m. when a man was shot on Bainbridge Court. 2 hours later, a man was shot on Charles Avenue near a liquor store. Saturday morning, a man was shot near Jazzy G's on Old Georgetown Street. And the latest shooting injured a BCTC student and damaged several cars, all outside a party being hosted by the Genesis Center on Georgetown Road. Those shootings have left many in the community upset.
I am livid. I'm a single parent, and then let my daughter use my car to come out here and have a good time, and then this is what happens to innocent people.
Lexington police say they have handed those cases over to the department's robbery homicide unit.
Well, after an incident at an Illinois air traffic control center, officials have opened up about when they hope to have it fixed and running once more. A contract employee at that control center in Chicago, or west of Chicago, set a fire at the facility and was found in the basement trying to kill himself. The FAA now says that they hope to have the facility fixed by October 13th. The incident grounded hundreds of flights starting on Friday and is still causing issues across the country and is included to have those issues into the week, including right here at the Bluegrass Airport.
The time is 5:06 on WKYT, and new this morning, a man wanted in Ohio for assaulting a police officer has been arrested here in Kentucky on a different assault charge. Laurel County Sheriff's deputies arrested Christopher Allen on Wise Owl Road in Keevee. Deputies say they went there for the report of a domestic assault. They found an injured female victim at the home who was taken to the hospital, and Allen was charged with assault and arrested. Police later found out he was wanted in Ohio for assaulting a police officer and had been previously convicted of assaulting a Laurel County deputy. Allen will now be extradited back to Ohio to answer to the assault charges there. A 2-day search for a missing kayaker in Floyd County has ended. Rescue crews tell us they recovered the body of Milford Boyd. Police say Boyd went missing Saturday while on a kayaking trip and was found Sunday afternoon. At the time, search crews were only able to find his kayak and his cigarettes. Canine units joined in the 2-day search. Rescue crews are encouraging people to be extra cautious when exploring outdoor areas.
Making sure that you're aware of your surroundings and that you know what you are, comfortable doing.
An official cause of death will be determined after the coroner performs an autopsy.
Ending hunger was the goal for dozens of students who showed up to the Hunger Walk in Lexington. Walkers took a 3-mile stroll through the historic east end of Lexington. Not just students, just the general public as well. Some of the money raised on Sunday will support the hunger fighting efforts of the Church World Service. 25% of the funds will go to God's Pantry Food Bank.
I think we all have really good lives here in the United States, and most of us, and we don't really understand what's going on in the world, and this way it kind of brings that awareness to a lot more people.
Last year, God's Pantry was able to provide 25,000 meals with donations received from last year's Hunger Walk.
All right, doing some good over there. Our time this morning is 5:08, and it's time for our first check at live drive traffic and see what's happening out there as we take a look at Broadway and High Street this morning, and it seems to be clear in that area. We have no reports of any major problems at the moment. We do have word out of Richmond that they're going to be working on Main Street there for the next little bit. It's going to take quite a while as a major drainage project is underway, so a closure on Main Street in Richmond set to start later this morning. We'll get you some more details on that. Good to have you along. WKYT this morning just getting started, and we have a lot more news right in just a moment.
It's a new take on a classic frozen treat. Coming up, we'll tell you about one state fair's new way to make ice cream.
And the popularity of a children's movie has had an adverse effect on the toy that inspired it. Coming up, we'll tell you about a possible shortage of Legos.
Nice and mild out there this morning. We're staying dry. As we head toward the afternoon, there is a slight chance of rain, but once we get rid of that, we don't see rain for quite some time. I'll show you when you can expect that coming up.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris and First Alert Defender.
Well, after a beautiful weekend, looks like we're going to start off nice and dry for the most part once again. Now, the bulk of the rain has already moved on out. We do have a couple of showers down toward the mountainous regions and one up towards, say, Mason County, but for the most part, if you do get any rain out of this, it's not going to be much. The heaviest rain will stay off into Virginia and move into West Virginia as we speak. So most of the part, yeah, it looks like it's going to be nice and dry. You could get a couple of showers later on. But it does look like it's going to be a pretty decent day. You'll have some clouds overhead, so don't expect a lot of sunshine down in the southeastern portion of our viewing area. 59 degrees in Danville and Boyle County. Willisburg, you're looking good. Lawrenceburg, Burgoo Festival this past weekend. Hope everything went well there in Anderson County. And work your way over toward the east and also southeast, and things look just fine. So we're holding on to pretty pleasant temperatures, and I think by the afternoon we'll actually be above average once again. So this warm air isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And when I say anytime soon, I mean within the next few days. 80 degrees there in Lexington, 81 in Harrodsburg, down toward the south, lower 80s. Small chance of rain, but really it's going to be more like your Williamsburg and work your way over toward, say, Bell County and also sitting there in Knox County. Campbellsville, you don't have a chance of rain. Over toward the east-southeast, this is your best opportunity. A good 40% across the mountainous regions. West Liberty, you're more like your 20 to 30%. So the farther west you go in northwest, it's going to be drier. Sun and clouds up toward the north. Temperatures will be there in the lower 80s. So your weather headline, it's just a small chance of rain today, really for that southeastern zone. So most of us do stay dry and pretty warm there throughout much of the work week. Not just looking for the work week, but toward the weekend. Ooh, some big blasts of cold air. And I mean cold. I'm not talking about cool air. I mean some cold air. We're talking 30s out and about. Check this 7-day forecast out. We're in the 80s right now, 80 there on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday still sitting at the lower 80s because we're getting rid of some of that cloud cover. So that'll help us warm up just a bit. Then watch this, okay? Thursday we start to see some late rain move on in. That's our first pieces of that front. And once that front moves through there on Friday, which will give us showers and some thunderstorms, that's when it's really going to push in that chilly air. Late Friday is when you'll start to feel it. Saturday, you'll really feel it. Lower 60s, even some upper 50s for highs. And then as we go towards Saturday night into Sunday morning, check that out, 39 degrees. I know that's about 6 to 7 days away, but that looks like some really, really cool air come flying on in. Either way, there's no doubt about it, 100%. You're going to have some chilly air in here. Whether it's 61 there on Saturday or 65, it's still going to be pretty chilly. So we'll just have to watch that closely and see where we head. But, you know, for the festivals going on, it will feel like festival time once we hit that weekend. Yeah. And the good news is you're not going to see a lot of rain with it either there toward the weekend.
Can't complain about this weather, but it's been kind of difficult to know how to dress.
Yes,
because we already brought out the boots and the sweaters.
Back and forth, yeah. Back and forth. That is Kentucky weather for you.
We won't take that as a complaint, though.
Yes,
yeah, right.
definitely not. No complaints here.
Thank you, Mike. It's 5:15 on WKYT.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for nitrogen ice cream.
Well, that's what some people are doing at the Tulsa, Oklahoma State Fair. One vendor using molecular science to make some of the creamiest ice cream around. It only takes 7 milliseconds and nitrogen blasting at a negative 320 degrees to make some of the densest ice cream in existence.
The first thing we do is make sure that we want everybody to get a sample, and then the taste does most of the selling from there. So it's really a different consistency, a different density, and a very good flavor.
The fair out there, by the way, runs through next Sunday, just in case you want to hop on over and get you some of that nitrogen-blasted ice cream.
It's kind of the new trend. Some of those, who knows, maybe there's a nitro ice cream shop coming near you or something.
Yeah, maybe. It's good to see those folks enjoying it, though, and a lot of folks enjoying fall right now. And we have more news coming up for you. It's 5:16 this morning.
We also have a look at your money. Stay with us.
Some airlines will offer passengers a new perk and a breakfast treat you've got to see to believe. I'm Karina Mitchell, and I'll have those stories coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Welcome back into WKYT this morning. It's 5:19, and Intel is buying a 20% stake in a Chinese venture, and people on European airlines may soon be able to use phones and electronics.
Karina Mitchell has the latest on your money.
Investors await a variety of economic data this week, including the September jobs report. Personal income and consumer spending numbers are also due out later this morning. Wall Street ended a turbulent trading week up. The Dow added a whopping 167 points, while the Nasdaq gained 45. Intel is buying a 20% stake in a Chinese venture that makes Intel-branded chips for mobile phones. The deal will cost up to $1.5 billion and should help Intel get a larger share of China's mobile market. Passengers flying on European carriers may soon be able to use their phones and electronics anytime they want during a flight. That's thanks to newly issued European aviation guidelines. Airlines, however, will first need to certify that their aircraft transmission signals won't be impacted. And here's something to chew on. The owner of an internet-based dessert company called Mr. Crisp is fashioning Rice Krispies into edible art for sale. Among her creations, food, sneakers, and her priciest masterpiece, a $200 cover of Harper's Bazaar magazine. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Karina Mitchell.
All right, well, Lego toys are in high demand thanks to the film The Lego Movie, but now it's led to some shortages of the toy. Independent sellers in Canada say the toys are in short supply and that they may not get any more before the holidays. One store owner says their orders were canceled until further notice. For now, the big toy sellers seem to be well stocked with the toys. At least for now, but the demand continues. 521 on WKYT this morning. Looking at live drive traffic, there's I-64 and I-75 at the northern split.
We're not really hearing of anything going on around town, so it looks good.
No major issues at the moment. Keep you informed, and Officer Don will be along next hour as we head toward the morning rush. Hey, it's your Monday. It's good to have you along on WKYT this morning. This new week off and rolling. We're headed to October here in a couple of days.
Hard to believe, you know, and sports is up next.
The Wildcats can put that conference losing streak behind them after beating Vandy. We hear from the Wildcats next in sports.
Hey, good morning and welcome back. I'm meteorologist Micah Harris. We're sitting there in the 60s and it feels pretty good outside. It's fairly mild as you walk out the door. So not as cool. I mean, we'll sit there when it's all said and done here in the next couple of hours in the upper 50s. Sunny skies for much of the day, and then we'll start to see some clouds filter on in. Only a slight chance of rain this afternoon, and the best chance is going to be down toward the southeast. There was no rain this weekend for most part, and you can see Quigley and Rotel. Rotel. I wonder why they call him Rotel. I don't know. Maybe he likes Rotel. We'll see. But that's Peggy, and they enjoyed the sunshine this weekend.
Beautiful dogs.
Very good looking pups. I like it. And I like the names. Those are pretty cool names right there. All right, we appreciate it, Peggy. Love Quigley and Rotel. Let's check out sports, see what's going on.
Two years, 10 months, and 1 day, or 1,036 days since a wide receiver playing quarterback led Kentucky to an SEC win. That drought came to an end on Saturday with a win over Vanderbilt.
The 17-game SEC losing streak is officially over as they beat Vanderbilt 17-7.
The streak is over.
It feels great. It feels great.
17 straight losses to SEC opponents dating back more than 2 seasons.
It does feel that long, and I'm just happy to break the streak, and we got to continue to improve every week.
Mark Stoops has only been a small part of that streak, but even he is glad to have it over.
Again, I've only been here one year and 1 game. Okay, so that 1 year was long. And so let's not talk about that anymore, all right? I'm proud of the group. I am proud for the victory and really for the fans.
Stoops called the 10-point win over Vandy a thing of beauty for a defensive guy. While Patrick Tolles and the offense struggled to find rhythm in the second half, the defense came up big with 3 second-half interceptions, equaling the Wildcats' total of all last season.
When somebody can't perform or somebody has trouble performing, other people got to step up. And that's what people did. The defense, they didn't give up a touchdown all day. The only touchdown we scored was on me.
That was a great defensive effort on every side of the ball. We've been, like they say, bend but don't break. They've got a couple big plays on us, but then we'll answer right back.
The bad boy defense put pressure on the Doors all day, allowing just 139 yards of total offense, the least by a UK SEC opponent since 1996.
I just like the way they've been preparing, the way they've been practicing, and you have to play on edge defensively or you'll get embarrassed.
And now with 3 wins under their belt, already one more than the previous 2 seasons, the Wildcats aren't satisfied as the conference schedule only gets tougher.
You don't really count down, you really just count. We're trying to count up. We're not satisfied with 6. We want to win as many games as we can, and we think we can. We're halfway there, but we got 8 games left, so we got a long way to go.
And Kentucky welcomes in the old ball coach in South Carolina into Commonwealth on Saturday. The game will be played under the lights at Commonwealth. Kickoff 7:30 on the SEC network. A couple of former Wildcats made big plays on Sunday in the NFL. We'll have those highlights coming up for you a little bit later. That's a look at your morning sports. Have a great day.